If you're new here, welcome to the channel where we discuss work-at-home careers, IT businesses and online businesses. Consider subscribing if you're new here to be up to date with the latest technologies and hacks related to online businesses and IT industry. Hit the bell icon to be the first to comment on my each new episode. Hit the like button if you like the episode or dislike button if you don't. And if you're a veteran here, welcome back, Top Gun. Today we're talking about product and service businesses, and this actually relates to online businesses as a whole and IT businesses specifically. I wanted to make a separate video on the pros and cons of service and product businesses in IT industry, but they are actually the same for any business you want to start. And make sure to stick to the very end because I'm presenting my new freebie today. Let's go. Now let's start with the service businesses, and let's talk first about pros. Now, pros of service businesses and why they are so popular. The major reason why and the main pro of service businesses is its low starting capital. You don't need any money actually to start. If you have a skill to offer, that's where you just start your business. You look for customers and you start operating. In fact, your business costs, your business launching costs at the beginning might be as far as like zero, and you can make money straight away. Watch this episode of mine where I talk exactly in details how much it costed me to start my IT service business. Now, the next pro of service businesses is its simplicity. It's traditional way of making money. Like service businesses, I presume, were the first businesses ever where a person could do something for another person, and that's how they started making money. How you do that? You look for customers and you start working for them. You can actually operate as a solopreneur and do business all on your own, and then your business operations might be even simpler. But if you hire a team, it doesn't, again, necessarily need to be complicated. You just find more customers and you sign up contracts with more contractors. Now, the next pro of service businesses is they are never boring. And what I mean here is that you face with some new challenges every day because as a service provider, you work with people. You don't put your product sales on autopilot and don't deal with customers at all. No, not like that. In service businesses, you operate with people and you communicate with people daily, and those people have different requests. And while you make those requests, while you fulfill those requests, you face with different approaches and you face with different issues because people are different and you're never bored. And I can actually relate here because I have worked, before I started my company, I have worked in both service service companies and product companies. And in service companies, it was really never boring. And in product companies, you get tired of fulfilling the same responsibilities each day. And in service business, it's never that. Now, the next pro of service businesses is that market is already there. Given that you have done your research and you're sure that your market needs your service, all you have to do is just jump right in front of your customers and say that you can do the job for them. Now, while service businesses are easy to start and easy to operate, they have their cons. And the first one is they are hard to scale. I have done a video about top situations in outsourcing business where you will absolutely hate it. It relates to IT outsourcing, but it actually relates to any service business. And why it is hard to scale in a service businesses? Because how you can actually scale your service business is by attracting more customers. And when you attract more customers, it means that you have to provide more service to them. And you cannot do that without scaling your contractors base. If you cannot do a service for each single customer yourself, right? So you have to hire either employees or contractors to fulfill a job for those new customers, which actually means that you have more often than not a fixed margin on each deal between a customer and a contractor. And you can only scale by attracting more and more customers and then attracting more and more contractors, which actually means that your margin will not be skyrocketing because your margin will be fixed from each deal. And the only way to improve your profits is by increasing your customer base. Now, the next con of service businesses is that you have zero or close to zero space to creativity. What I mean here is that each customer has their requirements for yourself as to the job that has to be done. You can advise something to the customers, or you can advise how to do that better, but you have little influence over their decision, and you're still, even if you advise to do differently, you are still tied to the primary requirements, which means it leaves zero room for creativity and for making it better, because some customers might listen to you, but some might not. Now, the next very important con in service businesses is that communication in service businesses is very time consuming, extremely time consuming. I have made a video about communication issues in service businesses, so watch this episode after this one. The link will be in the description below. But in short, what does it mean is that when you bespeak a future deal with your potential customers, it takes a lot of time. And that communication, more often than not, you do not include that in the bill. So you can spend hours and days of full-time work talking with customers and negotiating deals and trying to find new leads and new customers, and it might be all in vain. This work, this excessive work that you will be doing, will not be paid. You can reduce the risk of this one by taking upfront payments, but this is only possible if you already have a reputation on the market and some service that only you can provide, or something that is really rare or in high demand. For example, in IT industry, that is something related to either DevOps or data science or machine learning or AI technology, something that is trendy, something that is highly requested now. But even then, it might be a problem, because in 90% of cases, customers pay you afterwards, after the job is done. Nobody is going to pay you for communication. We have this practice of including time spent by our employees in meetings into the bill, but we have time tracking tools. And when you work in some other business where you cannot actually track the time that you spend answering each email and doing introduction calls with customers, you cannot include these hours into any bill. So most of your time will not be paid. Now, the next very serious con of service businesses is that they have no recurring revenue, meaning that you actually have to be on the lookout for new customers all the time, and it leaves you zero room for actually enjoying your business, because you're constantly making sales. If you don't make sales, if you don't look for new customers, your business will stop immediately. Of course, we're all hitting for finding long-term customers where we will have at least a fixed margin that will not increase, but at least not decrease drastically. We all look for that, but long-term customers are hard to find, and you cannot live on one long-term customer, you have to find several. But then again, it's not like a recurring revenue, and you're in the danger of losing that customer, and then again, you're left without any steady income. And the last con of service businesses is low evaluation. It's really hard to estimate how much a service business actually costs. So it really will be hard for you, if you want to scale, if you want to grow your business, to attract any investments or to actually even sell your business, because nobody is going to evaluate how much your business actually costs. It's not for service businesses. And from service, let's jump straight into product businesses. Now, the first con of product businesses is that they are scalable. Yes, something that is not possible in service businesses. Why they are scalable? Because when you sell a product, you don't necessarily need to hire additional team members or hire additional contractors to grow your income. You can just put your sales on autopilot by integrating, an evergreen sales machine, or by implementing sales and marketing tactics that work best, and hence the sales of your product will increase, and at the same time you don't need to increase your employee base, and that's how you can make more profits. And some product businesses are actually insanely profitable, and you can scale your business like crazy if you hit the market well. Now, the next pro of product businesses is ability for you to be creative. That's where you can show everything you're capable of, because when you launch a product business, you cannot actually just sit back and wait for the It's all about your vision, how you see that. Of course, if you have co-founders, that's a different story, but in most cases, that's about you and how you envision that product. And if you think certain features are not required, you don't include them. And if you think something is vital and crucial, you implement that. So it's all about your vision. And the next one is IPRs belong to you, intellectual property rights. Something that is not possible in service businesses. For example, if you are an IT service provider and you create some software for your customers, all the rights to the codes, to the software you create belongs to the customer. You don't own anything. And in product businesses, intellectual rights belong to you. The next one is recurring revenue. In product businesses, this is more possible than in service businesses. Because, for example, in software as a service businesses or something as some product as a service business, you have customers paying you on a monthly basis, and that's how you make profits without making additional sales. So you don't have to attract additional team members, you don't have to make any additional efforts. Your product is being sold on autopilot, and that's how you make more and more profits from the same customer. So recurring revenue is something that will help you scale your business and grow like crazy. And the next is high valuation, because if you want to, again, grow your business even faster and you want to attract some investments, product businesses would be your choice, because product businesses could be evaluated and there are certain metrics for that. And you will actually be able to sell your business just if anything. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to see the cons of product businesses, but I will tell you them. Now, first is that product business, any product business, is a gamble, which means that market research can take you just so far, but market research is just an educated guess. When you launch a product business, you work and you operate on an educated guess. You've done your research, you made your speculations on how your product is going to be, evolved, how you're going to bring it to the market, whether the market needs it. You made your research, but then again, that research can take you just so far, and it's either win or lose. It's always a gamble. Product business is always a gamble. And the second very serious con of product businesses is that money are required upfront. So money is required upfront. It means that in order to develop your product, you have to spend your time, which will not be paid, of course, and your money. You have to invest your money into creation of your product. Even if you have something as simple as an online course, you will have to invest your time into creation of this course, and of course you will have to invest some certain budget into hosting that course anywhere. Even if you use platforms like Teachable or Udemy or Kajabi or other resources for storing online courses, you will have to pay you to store your online courses there. And if you're creating a software product, that's where you will have to invest a lot of money into creation, even MVP, minimum viable product to start with. And the last major con of product businesses is customer service woes. I'm sure you can see this one, but customer service woes. As soon as your product business starts to grow, which it hopefully will, you will have to deal with a lot of customer support issues, and you will have to hire a team that will support existing customer base, which means that you will make zero money from that support team who supports your current customers, but you have to pay them in order to keep your current customers. So this is where you will increase your spendings, your business spendings, but you will not increase your profits. You can somehow optimize it, you can outsource that part, or put some requests on autopilot, some automated support, but actually you will have to lose money here. And one thing I haven't mentioned, if you want to start a product business and you don't know where to find funds for it, watch this video of mine where I talk about 7 ways how to fund your product business. Now let's compare these two, service and product businesses. As you can see, product businesses have more pros and less cons, which is like, wow, I should absolutely start a product business. But like I mentioned, the most important part that stops many from starting product business is that you will have to find some funds to invest into your product business before you can actually start operating. And the next one is that even if you invest a lot of money, it's a gamble. So these two cons stop everyone from starting a product business. Now let me know one thing. Would you rather start a service or a product business? Let me know in the comments below, because this might be my next video about either a service business or a product business. So let me know in the comments below what your choice would be. And as always, hit all the buttons you find below. Go and watch the next episode on my channel and see you next week as usual. See you there. Bye.